Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this month on Minecraft. This month, the Dream allegations are addressed, Greninja comes out with information, and Hermitcraft Season 9 comes to an end. Dream has finally released the video which covers every single allegation, every single argument, and every single piece of drama. Now before we get into the nitty gritty of this video, I personally think Dream has covered every allegation, as good as he can, but he takes an awful amount of time getting to the point. Starting off, Dream talks about the famous picture that was leaked a few years back where it's a boy in his school shirt. Dream denied it for so long and the internet followed suit. However, this picture is actually Dream. It was him a few years back and he has lost a lot of weight, which, fair play to him, that amount of weight loss is crazy. But yes, that picture was actually Dream. Moving on, he then talks about the Manatreed allegations. Dream gave Manatreed a platform because we now know that they were best friends since childhood. Dream came up with a name and created all the accounts. When the allegations were released, Dream removed him from the SMP and deleted all accounts related to Manatreed. As for Dream, at no point was he aware that he was housing an abuse. According to Dream, Manatreed wasn't an abuse anyway. It was a fight between Manatreed and somewhere else where his girlfriend got in between. After, he then talks about the Snapchat thirst trap allegations made by Moist Critical last month. He goes through them saying that he was making money by posting silly stuff and at no point was there an actual thirst trap of himself on Snapchat. And he proves this by cycling through his Snapchats which he has posted. He also says that he hasn't accessed and neither does access his public Snapchat account and that instead he has a manager to do so. Dream finally moves on to the pedophilia allegations 25 minutes into the video. And the first one is about Anastasia. After Dream's face reveal, she said that Dream is scared that I wouldn't reveal his face first and that Dream actually revealed his face to her a couple years ago. Dream revealed his face to Anastasia when, according to her, she was a minor. Dream quickly disproves this as any messages that they had were only friendly ones. The public also shamed Anastasia as there were a lot of holes in her story, thus it got shut down really quickly. The second allegation is about Amanda, which Dream goes into great detail about. The first message Amanda sent Dream was a thank you for saving my life, in which Dream responds thank you and glad to make you smile. Dream then says he has posted a transcript from every message shared between him and Amanda and that there's proof that Amanda has deleted messages in between. Now we don't know what the deleted messages are, but there is proof that they have been. He then goes back and forth with Amanda showing how their messages got more and more dry over time. Dream was not giving any attention and thought Amanda would just move on. Later on, when Dream started music, he was sharing a few snippets with his friends before it came out, and he wanted to share a snippet with Amanda, thus moving the conversation from Instagram to Snapchat. The actual allegations were that when Amanda added Dream, they started where at the time Amanda was 17 and would turn 18 a month later, and that the stopped a week before her 18th. The proof she has to support this is Dream giving her a compliment after she's 18. To make things even crazier, she was seen defending Dream after he got a lot of backlash for his face reveal. As Jamie said, you're an absolute donut bruv, you're so stupid. Imagine me saying to my ops, hey square up G, and then a day later I just invite them for tea and crumpets at my house. It makes no sense. Either way, this is where the Amanda story ends. The third allegation is of course the moaning videos that were released a month ago, where the allegations were that he groomed someone called Jamie. He says that the allegations are not true and that he wouldn't interact with someone underage, and that when shown proof he was never confronted about this even though Discord DMs say that he was. The history behind Dream and Jamie is that they met each other all the way back when Dream posted his first YouTube video. The burner account states that Jamie has left the internet even though she was tweeting all the way through 2022. Dream shows a lot more evidence and concludes that the person who is behind Burner22 is simply there to end Dream's career. I'll leave the story here because the rest of the chapters, they're not that important and you can go have a look at it yourself. Moving on, Skeppy has recently released a video called Technoblade Never Dies. In the video, he outlined all of his best experiences with Technoblade in the time that they were friends. He mentions a lot of stuff such as their favourite video together, the best joke they made together, and the first time they ever met and started talking. He also said the exact moment that he was informed about Techno's passing. Dream was the first to inform him and there were many in the community that also helped out. I highly recommend checking out the video because it's nice to see and it's just a really good experience. I haven't said it enough, but really thank you for 10k subs. It means so much to me. And may we hit 50k or maybe even 100k by this year, hopefully. Thank you for 10k subs. And thank you for supporting TMOM this month on Minecraft. Best thing to ever happen. I really appreciate it, and may the next year be ever much better. Look out. Happy New Year! Back in October, I covered a story where a streamer called Stella was by ex-YouTuber Illumina. Well, that story has taken a new step where Illumina has made what has to be one of the worst response videos I have ever seen. There is so much in the video that is so like icky and like too much information. It's just so bad, man. Now if you look at Illumina's Twitter today, it is empty and there is nothing, and the response video has been deleted, but of course it got re-uploaded. The story between Illumina and Stella starts in 2020 when they first met and dated online, then a year later met up in person. In their whole time as friends, they met up a total of 7 times and they had on every time that they met. The first time they met, Stella had a boyfriend at the time who wasn't Illumina, so her and Illumina didn't want to do anything. However, Stella did say that if anything happens, she wouldn't blame him. Illumina says that they bought a mattress so someone would sleep on the floor, but they ended up sleeping in the same bed. And of course, you never would have guessed it, they both had thus cheating on the boyfriend at the same time. Come on guys, I know the situation is worse, but like, you can't cheat, man, like, come on. Illumina does apologize, but I don't know, it doesn't sound real enough. In 2022, they met 3 times. Once was in TwitchCon Amsterdam and the other 2 were at Illumina's house again. He says that the intercourse was frequent, consensual, and that no alcohol was involved at all. In 2023 March, they both went to Japan, but before the trip, Stella says that she doesn't want to do anything, which Illumina says, yes, I don't either. But then Stella asks why you don't want to do stuff. I don't know if I'm dumb, but to me that makes no sense. In July this year, the two both went to TwitchCon Paris where they stayed in an Airbnb together. A few weeks before this, they were both in the UK where they had sex again. She also got attached to another content creator and slowly started to leave Illumina. I'll name the content creator later on. However, this time in Paris, alcohol was involved and it was the beginning of the end for Illumina. Stella was pretty drunk, whereas Illumina was relatively sober. During trying to sleep, Stella tried to grab Illumina's crotch, to which he said no. Now, this next part is where Illumina just includes way too much information, like, oof. I'm gonna have to put the words on screen because I can't say this. If you're listening on Spotify, just good luck. Illumina and Stella had, yeah. Bro, we don't need to know that. Just way too much information, man. Stella says that she does not recall having even though she mentioned it a few months later. And then even more too much information. It doesn't stop. I can't say this either or I'll probably get banned, but Illumina and Stella had a kink, because apparently Stella always owed Illumina money. And look, you can have whatever kink you want. I'm happy for you, I'm glad for you, but I don't need to know the nitty and gritty. Apologies, it's just, And it's because of this kink that the whole kerfuffle starts in TwitchCon Vegas. Stella owed Illumina $2,000. Illumina says pay me. Stella thinks of the kink, then full stop. Stella then says she has never once asked for in Vegas. You make your judgment because I have no clue anymore. And now we arrive at the night of the both Stella and Illumina were drinking, where Illumina says that is the most drunk he's ever been. They took an Uber home and went into their bed. Now what happened in that bed we'll come back to later, but the morning Illumina woke up, Stella was gone, as I stated in October's This Month on Minecraft. The next saga of arguments between these two, which would destroy Illumina's career, were in iMessages. Most of the messages I show on screen are arguments between the two, but there's one I'm going to read out, which is the end of Illumina. And it goes like this. We had sex in Paris multiple times. I don't remember any of it because I was that drunk. I thought it was once. If it was multiple times, then that's fucked up. It's almost like staying in bed drunk with me is a bad idea. The consequences of my actions, no. That's so tapped. It's so messed up. Oh my god. How can a man say it's bad to be in bed drunk with me? Astaghfirullah, bro. Oh my gosh. You can watch the rest of the video in the link in the description because the second half of the video isn't really that related to what happened. So, what did Stella respond with? Well, in the video, Illumina said that a big problem between these two was not setting clear boundaries, to which Stella clapped back with screenshots clearly proving Illumina wrong. I'll leave the link to these in the description as well. Since then, Illumina said that he will be permanently deleting his channel and not returning to the content creation space forever. But before we continue, make sure to stream This Month on Minecraft on Spotify. The uncensored version of every This Month on Minecraft will be posted there. So run up the streams and let me know how it is. Oh, you thought I was done? No. I thought I was done when gathering my topics for this month on Minecraft until I saw this tweet and instantly thought, what the fuck? Greninja! A massive Twitch streamer has recently come out with a 73-page document outlining every single experience with him and Stella. And on top of this, there is another 98-page document released by Stella herself. Remember when I said that Stella got attached to another content creator during TwitchCon Paris? Well, that person was Greninja. This is without a doubt one of the most complicated stories I've ever done, so you really have to pay attention. The story between Greninja and Stella is a story where Stella believes she was around Greninja for only purposes and that otherwise Greninja didn't want to be friends. The story of these two starts in TwitchCon Paris, where Stella meets Greninja in a meetup where Stella arrived with Illumina. During their first interaction, Stella says that she was hitting on him and that they had a small argument at some point. After this was resolved, they kissed for the first time. Stella was also very forward about wanting to have sex with Greninja, which after she apologized as she was drunk at the time. They were both drunk when they went back and agreed to keep talking as friends until they would meet up again in TwitchCon Vegas a few months later. During this period, things between the two started to escalate, with Stella sending nudes to Greninja. However, Greninja would have no response to them and acted as if nothing was sent in the first place. The sending of nudes is not mentioned at any point during Greninja's document. After this, the two kept on talking, but Greninja kept on reassuring Stella that he didn't want a very close relationship. This gave off the impression that Stella was only around for purposes. But there's another part of Greninja which he opens up about in his document. He says that ever since he was young, he always felt disconnected from the world. He never truly understood love until recently. He also states that he is very sociopathic and doesn't understand the world and life in general like other people do. It is now September, a month before TwitchCon Vegas, and this message was leaked. He says that I have a girl coming over who wants to fuck. Tamdio says, who plans that a month in advance? Greninja then says, this girl has been bugging me for it all month long. And of course Greninja is talking about Stella. Keep in mind, they were good friends at this point and everything is going good, so for him to say Stella is a girl who's been bugging about him about sex, it's kind of, oh man, it's just weird, man. So now we arrive at TwitchCon Vegas. The event has not officially started, but the dates in which all of the events took place are from the 16th to the 24th of October. The time frame in which both Stella and Greninja are in Vegas. The pair arrived in Vegas on the evening of the 15th of October, and this is where too much information is shared yet again. After meeting up, they both went to get protection, and you can imagine what happened. But alas, it failed because of way too much information again. You just go read it in the document at this point. The next morning on the 16th, they tried again, but it didn't work. So instead, they started talking about ways to get each other aroused. The list goes on and on and on, but at this point I have to put a trigger warning because stuff is gonna get very, very weird. Greninja proceeds to say that something that gets him aroused is According to Stella's document, Greninja didn't mean to say this after seeing Stella's shocked reaction, but then proceeds to say that he has worse kinks that he will never tell anyone. Stella then mentioned pedophilia is worse, to which Greninja responded, I don't get why people do it, kids don't have boobs. Which is so weird to say, it's so weird. Ugh. Get how, man, oh my god. He then proceeds to say that he doesn't care if he hurts people and that being manipulative is fun and that one day he might snap and something bad will happen. Get him on a list. I want an FBI surveillance on this man. Not 24/7 but 25/8. Get him on a list. He also said that Stella stood out to Greninja because of her large chest, and that he probably wouldn't have talked to her if that wasn't the case. Get this man gone, man. Oh my Flipping hell. So then, after all this, they went to Target and Greninja says that it was the happiest he ever saw Stella. However, they had to leave because Greninja had an online test. On the walk back, he says one of the most insane things ever. He says that he only reveals stuff that sounds murderous or insane to Stella. This is because if he ever says something too out of hand, he can get people on his side because he will use Stella's bipolar disease against her and say that she is insane. Bro, using someone's disability against them is so mental, it's so tapped. Stella posted proof of Greninja saying this in Discord DMs. On the night of the 16th, Stella went to stay at Illumina's. The following evening was the day that everything hit the fan. It was the night that the happened. Stella was already drunk at this point and the group decided to go on a roller coaster in which Greninja lost his house keys. This put Greninja under massive amounts of stress, meaning he wouldn't talk to many people for most of the nights, including Stella. They eventually got in, got more drunk, and everyone went home. Most importantly, Stella went back to the hotel with Illumina. And then the happened. Shortly after, Stella left the premises very quickly and got an Uber to Greninja's house. At this point, it is 5 AM in the morning and Stella had just arrived outside the house. When she arrived, she was banging on the door for 20 minutes begging for anyone to answer, but nothing happened because everyone was asleep. Or so she thought. Greninja was awake and heard all of the banging on the door and intentionally did not let her in. He saw every single message from Stella where she stated that she had just been sent by Illumina and that if she ever needed help in her life, now was the time. Greninja saw these messages beforehand and still refused her entry. Time Dio and Tap L were the other two YouTubers who were way more drunk than Greninja and asked what the banging on the door was. Greninja said to them that Stella was dangerous, she is crazy, and that she has bipolar disease, so we shouldn't let her in. He turned the minds of two YouTubers against Stella without knowing the full situation. Another example of manipulation from Greninja. Greninja finally opened the door to Stella to see her crying and in a full-blown panic attack as she couldn't comprehend what had just happened. Greninja, knowing what happened, was yelling at her, "Why are you here at 5 AM? Are you crazy? Are you stupid?" Not only was she just assaulted, but now she was being verbally assaulted by an inhumane asshole. She was then left in a spare room alone where she could recollect her thoughts. For 20 minutes this was the case until Greninja came in and started comforting her, but not in the best way possible. After that, Greninja left her and Stella went to the roof of the house contemplating suicide. Thankfully it never happened, but after she went to the roof of the house, Greninja saw her on the roof and didn't see her again until the next morning. The thing that was so much worse is that Stella never found out about them faking to be asleep until the 19th of December, a whole 2 months later. This is where the main story ends. Everything that comes after is more and more instances of Greninja just being a dickhead. If you wish to check out the story from both sides, I will leave both links down in the description below. After so long, Hermitcraft Season 9 has finally come to an end in what is one of the best ends to a server ever. Everyone had their each individual ending within their own video, so nothing massive blew up or anything like that. Grian ended his video with a compilation of the best moments from every single episode. Mumbo Jumbo ended his video saying he apologized for not being very active this season, but still appreciated everyone's support for the server. Many other YouTubers on Hermitcraft also made their final videos, and we can expect to see a season 10 announcement very soon. After almost a year of ending his first hardcore world, Sandiction has finally returned his hardcore series, with the first episode being over an hour long. People are wondering as to why it took him 10 months to make the first video, but nevertheless people are happy to see him back anyway. My guess is that he had a child. RekRap has finally made an official announcement saying that he will be leaving Lifesteal in what is one of the best leaving videos I've ever seen. He says in the video that he left because he had already made every single piece of content he wanted to make on Lifesteal, and that his goal with Lifesteal was accomplished. If he made any more videos about betrayal and the usual content, it would just feel repetitive for him, and so he left in season 4. But why did this announcement take so long? It turns out that within the shadows, RekRap and other members of Lifesteal have been actively working on a public Lifesteal server. RekRap's plan was to announce he was leaving Lifesteal, then at the same time announce the public server, but the server got delayed again and again and again, but it finally got released this month. I highly recommend checking out RekRap's video and the Lifesteal server itself. Parrot and PlanetLord have come together to create a joint channel where they create Minecraft movies. The channel is called The Cusp, and a few weeks ago the pair released their first Minecraft movie, titled The Search for the Lost Totem. I highly recommend watching it, but as far as I've seen, neither PlanetLord or Parrot have said anything about this channel publicly, even after people discovering it and the video getting over 20k views. The Armadillo has finally been released into Minecraft in a preview, and my god, it is bad. A lot of YouTubers have made videos about the preview, so you can check theirs out for more detail, but here's my opinion. The Armadillo does nothing. You have an armadillo. You can breed them to make baby armadillos. How cool! Armadillos drop scoots when brushed. And apparently this is infinite, you could just do this for however long you want. What do the scoots do, you may ask? Well, you can use them to make wolf armor. The wolf armor gives the same protection points as diamond horse armor. But the horse is way stronger than the wolf, so they could have at least made the armor stronger. It can't survive a creeper explosion, and most importantly, the armadillo itself is ugly. I'm sorry, yeah, but this thing is so clapped, I have no idea where to begin. Voting the armadillo is 100% a mistake. It should have been the penguin. Sharkilz has come out and apologized for doxing, but the issue is, he apologized in the most confusing way possible. As you may know, last month Sharkilz was involved in some drama where he was seen doxing someone when he was 13 years old, and this is his public apology. But in the statement he never actually mentions what he's apologizing to, and when you look at the tweet he quoted, it was something completely different when his account got hacked, causing him to deactivate it for a bit. After he recovered his main account, he made an apology. The apology, I think itself is good and pretty much covers everything, but what he was apologizing for is not mentioned anywhere, which I just find a bit odd. And finally, on this month on Minecraft, McClutch has recently made a video outlining his experience with Lifesteal, why he left, and all of the mental struggles in between. I highly recommend checking out the full video, but this is how it roughly went. He starts off by saying quickly into joining the SMP, he struggled with video ideas and couldn't produce content that well due to a lack of video ideas. He was also left out in a lot of events and massive things that were happening on the server at the time. This is one of the main reasons as to why he left Lifesteal, because he was just left out. He also says that people didn't respect him because he was seen as the Lifesteal class clown. Everyone would pick on him because he had more respect for the Lifesteal members than himself. As a result of this, he took a 6-month break, improving his mental and physical health. After this, he realized he wasn't fit for the Lifesteal SMP, as when he tried to defend himself from getting picked on, people would take him seriously, and eventually this led to him getting cancelled by Prince Zam. If you want to know this full situation, you can watch it on This Month on Minecraft a couple months ago. The video then finishes off with him saying no one in the Minecraft can think for themselves, and that they all make their own opinion based off everyone else and their favourite content creators. He backs this up by using the recent dream situation. Now, it's been mere hours since the video has been released, and I have to put out this video, so if Prince Zam does respond in any way to the situation, I'll update you next month. People are also saying McClutch's video is valid, but it has a single flaw. It was edited by Take 9. That's it for this month on Minecraft. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you next year.